Welcome to this week's What the Heck. Let's see, do
Hello,
we have
hello.
audio and video and both people on the screen? Yes. Check. How you doing, Bartok?
Hey, I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. That sounded really nice. I like that intro that you had going on.
Thanks. I've been listening to a lot of like older rock, and I don't know. I just did it
Yeah,
on accident, really. Uh, mm, when you turn things on and they forget their settings,
right.
sometimes that's a good thing. Like, I didn't even remember what my drums were set up, but I guess the Rample drums are going through the catnip and had like the perfect echo. Like I did nothing. It just like, and so went from there to his track pretty
Yeah,
quickly. Yeah.
yeah, very
So
nice.
thanks. Um, yeah. So welcome to the second Sunday edition. Not as many people here today. So hopefully we've got some people in the audience. I don't know if I opened the wrong chat link or whatever, but it's probably
How's
fine.
That's also a holiday weekend still, I think.
It is a holiday
So
weekend. Everyone's hungover from turkey and whatever else. Hey, Benjamin. Tropical. Yeah, I didn't even bring in the fifth, so I forgot about that. Anyway, yeah, I hope y'all had a good holiday weekend. Did you do anything?
nah, just kept it
I
calm and relaxed, and had some good food, but just stayed home.
That's good. I saw my family, and it was a little less. It was a little more chaos than. I mean, when you see your family, it's always chaos a little bit.
Right.
But I'd brought my ukulele down with me, and my sister really liked the ukulele, so that was pretty fun.
Oh, that's
Um,
cool.
so I don't think she watches this, but she does mute the audio now, sister. But I think she might be getting one for Christmas.
Very nice.
Um, Day
Yeah,
three of turkey for breakfast, Benjamin. Yep. Uh, I
I
do not. Yeah.
recently it's similar to a ukulele size wise, but I have a charango, um, which is it's like a little 10 string instrument. You hear it a lot in like music from the Andes.
Oh,
I
that's
think it's
super cool.
yeah originated from Bolivia, I think.
And it
But
plays sort of like a 12-string guitar, right? If I'm looking at it right, like where it's sort of 5 strings, but with 2 strings per string.
yeah, 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 it's five pairs of strings,
But yeah, there you go. That's the
and
right way to say it.
yeah, and the middle pair is an octave. They're tuned to like a low E and a high E, and then
Oh,
all the other ones are tuned the same,
okay,
like this the same pitch.
right.
Um, so it's pretty fun, but yeah, it's kind of like a ukulele.
That's cool. I don't think I've heard one, so I'll be looking up some charango videos later.
Yeah, maybe I'll link some in the Discord.
Yeah, please do. I mean, I'd never heard of it until today, and it looks, to be honest, it looks freaking awesome. Yeah, yeah, very cool. Benjamin saying electric ukes are cool, and pickups with pedals might be a fun setup. Yeah, so Jake, I forgot his last name, but if you look up like Jake ukulele, he'll pop up. That dude uses a lot of pedals and an electric uke that's really nice. Um, and it's not like a bad thing, but one of the things that I thought was really interesting is when he's playing and he like cranks on the distortion or like an amp or something, uh, it immediately goes into guitar mode. Like it just sounds like he's wailing on an electric guitar. It's pretty cool. Like I guess the pedal sounds, typical pedal sounds will do that to a thing.
Right,
Um, like when I run even the synthesizer through the right distortion, it immediately goes into guitar mode. Um, at least in my head. But I think like reverbs and stuff are pretty cool with anything small, anything
Yeah,
happy. Um,
I'll have to look that one up too then.
yeah, for sure. I can drop in some videos. That dude's like, if Satriani had grown up, no, not even Satriani, like Santana or somebody like had grown up with an ukulele instead of a guitar, like it's incredible, really.
Cool.
Um, I'm pretty sure I'm insulting like 5 people just by saying that, but whatever. I mean, I've recently just got a few more pedals. I'd been like sort of standoffish on pedals for a long time, but for whatever reason, I was like, I'm gonna relearn guitar again and like learn how to play stuff again. So I got a few pedals to make it exciting.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you make them
uh,
yourself or?
no, but I am actually going to like the only pedal I've made is the Shut It Loser pedal, which just is like a mute switch that I designed for a microphone. But I think I am gonna hook it up actually because it's kind of nice. Like if I have a phone call or I need to get up or something to just hit that so the guitar is muted and then go do other
Yeah.
things. So I'll probably hook that one up. I mean, I guess I built sort of a pedal. I built the Rat Distortion fuzz pedal, but I made it
Okay.
into a Cosmo module.
Cosmo. Yeah.
So it's a pedal at heart, literally. The circuit board is the shape of a pedal, and I just wired things out, the way I wanted them. So yeah, including a
Yeah.
crazy bypass.
I only have one pedal, and it's the Rat Distortion.
It's awesome. Like I've been piping my guitar into there. It's so good. I mean, you can go as little or as much crunch as you want. I think I need to take mine apart and swap the pots, but
Yeah.
uh, it, because the I believe the main issue I have is that the circuit was designed for the rad distortion. The circuit was designed for audio uh, potentiometers, and I have just the linear. So when you have audio, you have it like an exponential curve, and with linear, it's
Right.
straight. And in this case, it means with the linear, there's like this much action, and then the rest of the turn does nothing. So it just a little bit does like 90%. So I'll probably swap out to the audio, whatever you call it, rate, audio ratio. I don't know, the audio curve potentiometers, and that'll fix it. But I did get some other distortion pedals too to try out. I haven't piped them through my synth yet because it's been sort of as you can imagine, a week. But I got
Yeah.
the Game Changer Audio Third Man Records uh, plasma distortion pedal, which is pretty gnarly in a good way. So I'll see that one. Even the manual, it's like plug your synths into it. It's awesome. So I'll have to check it out. And it gates things like crazy, which is I think sort of unique to it. Like you can hear it like choke the sound a little bit. It's cool. Um, yeah, linear versus logarithmic. Yeah, so the alpha pots are logarithmic. Thank you, Benjamin. Um, and not the alpha brand pots. Not alpha pots. The audio pots. And then I got this delay pedal, the Grand Canyon, which if you've listened to Forrestine, you should be familiar with because that's used heavily in Forrestine's work. So I mostly am using it as a looper, and like the effects I just am learning over time. It's definitely like a better pedal for a desktop, I think, than for a foot pedal because everything is so small on it. But yeah, so I've been playing with pedals. They're fun. They're not Eurorack modules, but
Yeah.
use what you got.
And how's your power build coming along?
I haven't started it yet. I was thinking of actually doing that starting this week.
Okay.
I'll probably start. What I'll probably do first is the case. Um, and the power build doesn't look particularly gnarly. Like it's just plugging a few things in because they've provided like a pretty nice setup.
Yeah.
Drogatronic.
Yeah.
The hardest part is going to be like soldering all the bus boards, and that's just it's trivial and repetitive. That's about it. There's not much to it. A
Yeah,
couple
yeah.
capacitors, some LEDs, and maybe a resistor for the LEDs. That's about it. And the uh, sockets. Ooh, I hope there's shrouded headers. I didn't even look. If not, I may have to order more of those, but we'll see.
I think the new kits are coming with sharded headers, but don't quote me on that.
Fingers crossed. We'll see.
Yeah.
Actually, I have it over here. I almost destroyed the box the other day, so let's see if I can just take a peek. And by almost, I mean I definitely destroyed the box. Let's change camera angle. Sorry. Yeah. So I sent lots of things flying. I'm just gonna peek in here. Yeah, looks like they're all shrouded. Perfecto. Great. One less thing I have to order. Cool. So, other than pedals and stuff, do you got anything new going on? New patches, new modules, new layouts? I can't hear you. I don't know why. No, nothing. I need to get like a technical difficulties like screen so when things like this happen. This is pretty common. Oh, there you go. I heard you.
Okay. I think I know what's going on with that one. Let me push it back.
All right. I don't know what Bartok did, but all of his technology hates him today. So.
It does. Yeah, my
Oh,
camera's not working. Having mic problems.
oh my God, technical difficulties. That's pretty good. Thanks, Miles. Definitely stealing that. Yeah. So anything new? What's up?
I've got a patch that I've been trying to work out for a couple weeks now, I think. I streamed a couple of days ago. Last week sometime I streamed. But there's some shifts that I was trying to do and I didn't quite get them right, so I got to work that out, and then get like a final recording of it. So that's what I'm working on. Nothing
Do
new
it.
other than that. Yeah.
Those patches are hard. Like I always feel the urge to keep them so that I can do the right thing and get a good recording. But then I forget, or I just I don't want to wait. You have more patience than me, and which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I've had this one patched probably at least 3, maybe 4 weeks now going on. We're just working on each little component of it, and then now I feel like I just need to work on the transitions, which involves making, changes to like my Zadar, the Metron, and the Black Sequencer all at the same time happen correctly.
Oh,
So so that's kind of my holdup.
that's hard.
Yeah, and I got to step away because my allergies have been driving me crazy these past 2 days.
Oh,
And hold on, I'll be right back.
oh yeah, no worries. In the meantime, I think Tim is gonna pop in. What about y'all? What do y'all have that's new? New modules, new patches, new instruments. What's up, Miles, Ising, and Benjamin? Instruments. Oh, I could hear myself for a second there, Tim.
Yeah, I just muted. Muted.
All right, welcome to the party, enthusiastic electrons, everybody. How have you been?
I've been well. Just doing stuff, eating food, editing,
Heck yeah.
editing video.
Editing video, that's my least favorite thing, so I appreciate you for doing that.
Good job.
What's oh yeah, heck yeah. Welcome back, Bartok. Yeah, my allergies are getting me too. I think for me it's the heater kicking on and burning a bunch of dust probably.
Hey, Enthusiastic Electrons, good to see you. Thanks for saving the show.
Good to
Yeah.
see you. Right.
Yep.
Yeah, my allergies are. I do not have allergies right now yet, but we haven't turned on the heat yet, so waiting.
Yeah, no worries. What have you built most recently? Enthusiastic Electrons.
Well, I do. I am extremely excited right now about a patch which I was working on last week. It's an idea that I've had for. I mean, it's a Max patch that I put together years ago, but didn't really have anything cool to do with it. And I've sort of had the idea of doing this for a long time and never actually really got around to doing it until a couple days ago. And it's basically just breaking video down and analyzing certain components of it, and then spitting that out as MIDI, which I'm then just using as CV in a patch. And I wasn't quite sure what it would be like, so that way, basically, the video image will be the CV for the patch.
That's cool.
And right now, I'm currently sending 4 values. They're the same element of the video, but I'm just slicing it up, and it's just the same 4. But I can pick other things, like I can do frame differencing, subtracting every frame of video from the previous frame of video, so only the difference shows up, which looks really cool when you move. It's just like the sort of outline and sort of movement only. But then what you do is that, and I'm doing something else right now, but basically what you do is you just take, it's 8-bit video, and so there's 4 channels of 8-bit. There's red, green, blue, and alpha. The alpha
Right.
anything, but and that from 0 to 255, and then basically just like add it up, take the average, and so you can basically figure out the how many pixels you have or how bright the pixels are. And so you could do things like you could say only the red pixels or only blue pixels, or right now I'm just doing all of them.
Oh yeah.
And so I basically just threw it into a VCV, made a VCV patch, just as sort of a basic, sort of something as a simple proof of concept.
Yeah.
And it was so much cooler than I expected. I'm really excited about that because what I'm finding is that every video clip is a completely different sonic sort of, it's very different. Like, I have like video of waves rolling, and it's very, it's the music is what you'd expect. And then you cut to something that's a lot of quick movement, and suddenly you get like percussive, and it's just much faster.
I bet you could even make some sequences out of it by like looping the video
exactly
with the clock.
You could do that, right? And so basically, what I'm realizing is that I've got, my background before sort of putting all of this towards music was doing video with a band. So I have, for years, what I would do is I have all these video loops that I've shot and then created and then made them into loops that were basic elements that were designed to be mixed live. And so I could sort of load up different layers and then, speed them up, slow them down, add effects, change the color of them, just sort of blending them all together. And what I did was sort of, match the music of, whatever the band was playing and sort of try to mimic that. But this is sort of the opposite of that. So I can do that. I'm going to now rebuild my old controllers with the VJ software and put that out. And that is the composition. The composition is the editing. And that's what I do all the time, is edit video. So it's like, this is going to be that's the composition. That's the score. But I can also control it live.
That is super cool.
So I'm very excited about it. So I've got an APC 20 somewhere, which is like the Ableton. I've never used it for live, but like it's got the 8 sliders and the touch pads and all that. And I use that for triggering videos. So I'm going to break that back out again. So
heck yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited to see it. Like it sounds really cool. And you have what? 6 or so options. Well, you can do a lot of different options, but having the RGB channels as individual CVs.
Yep. I think slicing it up is pretty good.
Yeah.
Like in the quadrants.
Yep.
So, and of course, you can also put a video camera on and do like live. It's like, you got to integrate that with. I'm sure people have been doing this, like dance troops, that kind of thing. This is
Well, yeah, I saw. I think Richard Devine had a short like Twitter clip or something yesterday, maybe the day before, where he has this little box. I don't even know what it's called because I didn't read. But it basically is a light sensor of some sort that when he was moving around was using it as a CV controller, and it did some wild stuff. So yeah.
I mean, it's not a new idea. Like basically with Max MSP, like that's like that's your first patch is like turn video into sound. You know, that's what everybody does. Is like literally my first patch. So like it's not like groundbreaking, but just applying it to like using that as a CV source. So like combining it with the modular. And I got it worked out so that with between two SQ1s, I can have 4 channels of CV out. And then I've got another, at least 1, if not 2 through the no coast if I want to do that. And then my audio controller or the USB interface it's DC coupled, so I can get 2 more channels there.
Does the SQ1 do like MIDI to CV?
It does.
Okay, there you go.
Very straightforward. It's great. It's just you plug it in, and if you just when you plug it in, it just shows up in whatever you're using as a MIDI device. And if you just start sending a MIDI, then boom, it's like channel A is pitch and C is pitch and gate, and then channel B is channel 2. So you can have up to 4 channels.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's what I mean, almost exclusively what I was using my BeatStep Pro for a minute there. Is a MIDI to CV converter. But that's cool. Like, I'm excited to see what you do with it. Yeah, I mean, it just gets me thinking about like where I would put cameras. Like I'd be like, I need to get more cameras.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, it really opens it up and sounds amazing.
Like, yeah, and it's funny though, because it's the first time since this now marks 2 years since I've gotten into the Eurorack format. Right now, this sale weekend was when I bought my No Coast 2 years ago, and before that it was just Volcas and little chord, little bits, things, and whatnot.
Yeah.
This is like I love performing live. I love like the live streaming. It's just with EMS. But this is the first time with that I've like, I want a venue, like just because
right.
I'm used to like projecting big, so I've got some projectors. So I just want to like, put up the video and then make it a thing, make it loud, make it big, so.
Well, we should try to find a place and set something up.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. The next do an LA.
Yeah.
Stream.
Like, do it in January. I might be there in January. We'll see.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if I'll drive. If I drive, I'll bring everything. If not, I won't bring anything. Like a few patch cables and an OPZ.
X7 van, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I keep getting fired up about some of the things that LA. What are they called? LA. Chapter. That's the word I was looking for.
Chapter.
LA chapter keeps like SoCal, like is killing it.
Yeah.
SoCal in Canada. Yeah. Yeah. So that sounds really cool. Like I'm just trying to like I totally want to like. I might have to borrow some of those ideas and try some things because like a light seems like a fun, like even just. Brightness seems like a fun CV modulator.
Well, I'll tell you. Here's the other thing which I wanted to do years ago with before I had anything good to do with it. Before I knew about like Eurorack, and like I didn't do it because I was like, well, I got to build this and I got to build that, but like now with modular, it's like it's all built. All I have to do this has to do is generate voltage, and I can plug it in, and the rest of it does it. So now there's actually. And like I should just do this and then like reveal it, but I'm just going to give it away here. So if anyone else wants to go for it, because again, it's not really an original idea necessarily. It's just the application of it. But it's I've always wanted to. So a Holga camera. You familiar with a Holga? It's
the name rings a bell, but I'm going to do a quick search.
It's a cheap plastic medium format camera. It's like $14.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's like it's awesome. It's like the most basic. It takes big film. It's like a crappy lens, big film, and it looks awesome. And it's like Instagram or Hipstagram. That was it. Like if you remember like all those old filters. Like that's all that is like trying to look like the Instagram. The Holga, which is just has such light leakage and anyway, I've got when digital cameras rolled around, people started putting digital backs on medium format cameras. I was like, I'm going to make a digital Holga back, and using variable like light resistors. Only instead of like a 15 megapixel, it'll be like a 4 pixel.
Right.
And
that's a cool idea.
So that's so that's the idea is to like just get 4 variable resistors, and like now I realize like all I have to do is like run those through a quad op amp and out,
Yep.
with a little bit of control to like boost it and gain it, everything like that. But then, again, it's like basically it's a live analog version of this Max Patch that I'm talking about. The Max Patch was originally just a proof of concept. So then you go out in the field and set up your camera, which has like 4 light sensors, and as things pass by, it just
Yeah.
stuff happens.
You'd almost want to like aim each light sensor like a little like
Yeah.
typically they're pretty like in a camera, digital camera or something. They're in a very strict grid. I think even a hexagonal grid at this point, but I don't remember. But like I think for the best results for a CV, you kind of want them like almost like
Right. So it's not exactly
shooting off different directions. Yeah, otherwise they'll be so similar it'd be hard to even hear the difference.
Yeah. Well, though it depends on where. So if it's each corner of the image, like again, you're looking at since the lens is taking in the whole field, it just depends on how wide it is, the thing that you're pointing at.
Yeah.
So that's the current plan that won't happen anytime soon, but but the Max Patch will, so that's cool. And then beyond that, I also just what is it? The Composer over on NIMS posted a link to a what's that CAD program, the one that I'm trying to learn and haven't started learning yet, course. So
okay, yeah.
KiCad.
KiCad. Yeah, I've just been avoiding and learning any of that software unless I have to. It's not like I don't like software. I'm not. I mean, I'm really good. It's just I do that enough for my day job.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to touch a computer most of the time.
Yeah.
Like I want to touch like little crappy computers, Arduinos, Raspberry Pis, those things, great. But anything that starts to resemble work, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
And that's what really drew me to this, because I never liked using a DAW. The whole idea of making a music, and I know it's fantastic. I mean, but I'm on a computer all day, and the last thing I wanted to do is sit at one to try to do something that I found enjoyable. Like it clashed for me. So
yeah. I mean, there's also some like magic bit. Like I've used a lot of different controllers for computers and stuff, and they're good. Like they're really good. But there's something, especially when it comes to like messing with filters or something like that, like endless encoders or whatever, just don't quite do the trick.
Yeah, I'm 100% with all that. Like editing timelines all day. Like I just can't. Like I've never completed any project on a DAW, just because like that's what I do all day.
Right. It's exactly right. Like it's very much why I don't put out much music in terms of like, here's a finished song. Someone go buy it, please. Like, I don't care. Just subscribe to my YouTube channel and that's it. Or EMS is even better. Just subscribe to EMS's channel. You have 4 film cameras. Oh.
I counted for. No, I was just saying that there's like I didn't really put it together until I went to the. It was several months ago, but I went to the Modular on the Spot in LA, and like everyone just had these 35 millimeter film cameras, and I was like, that makes sense, that there's a crossover between people who want analog like film cameras and modular synthesizers. So I was like, that's not surprising actually. About it.
And they're sort of like
overly complicated, expensive way of doing something you don't.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a lot of crossover between like getting an old synthesizer or making a modular and using an old film camera. Like I have several, because I went to art school, and they're gonna be like, even a really nice camera that's old is still gonna like have aged and do things crappier than when it first came out, which leads to usually like really nice artifacts, that Instagram type effects, those sort of things that you just like. My iPhone's too good of a camera to make like that get anywhere even near them. So, yeah, I think I wouldn't say it's like a resurgence, but like pretty much since digital cameras took effect, like full force with everybody on their phones, I saw like a lot of my friends just going straight back to analog
It's just
and
yeah.
sticking with it, particularly crappier analog
Right.
cameras.
Yeah, because I feel there's definitely something. There's like a purity to the, to the, like that this is messing up. It's imperfect. It's not like someone's designing it to be imperfect.
Right.
And it's yeah, there's something cool about that, and also just the physical aspect of it, the physical media, because the more intangible electronics become, the more it's like it's nice to say like this. It's definitely one reason why vinyl is more popular these days than it was recently, and that whole element. I mean, I definitely like. I feel like that's the thing I like about analog. Like I'm not an analog purist by any means, but I get pleasure out of sending voltage through a couple circuits and like what does that sound like? It's like it's fun.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Bartok?
For me, the film camera thing was more of a it made me like really have to kind of slow down and think about what I'm going to shoot, because with digital, and I have both. I have two digital cameras, and I've got a few more film. I have medium format, large format, all of that. But with film, it just really forced me to think about what I was going to shoot, and also think about the camera, like what does this setting do? How does it affect it? And really understanding versus like even a point and shoot camera, like film, the old point and shoot film cameras did a lot of that for you, or made it easier to do. But that's what I really liked about it, is like I'm just looking at this camera and trying to understand how it does what it does, and trying to get that completed shot without thinking I'm gonna go edit it later.
Yeah, and like there's a limited amount of editing, like especially if you've got like access to a dark room, you can do like some things, but yeah, you got to get the shot pretty much on the first try, maybe two tries. Like with digital, even if you're taking a selfie, it's like slamming the photo button over and over again, right? Like, because one of those will be fine, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, also with film, like you won't be able to see it until later, so you're still in the moment. Like even when you're taking the picture, you're still present,
Yeah.
And that's the important thing. Hey, when I got my Holga, I mean, back years ago when digital photography was new, I had my student, my 35 millimeter totally manual camera, which I loved. But then every once in a while maybe it was like once a year or so, I'd get film gear gas, and I was working in. Like at that point, I was working in the camera department, so I was working in film cameras, and those lenses, like a film lens, is like $100,000 lens. It's a really nice glass, and so that's what I was sort of working with, and sort of, is like this is good glass, and then I was looking at still photography, and I was like, what's the difference really between this, $200 lens and the $1,600 lens, which is like the same lens, but this one's like a little faster, But then I started to look into it, and I learned. I learned what the differences were, like with chromatic aberration and all that stuff, and I suddenly couldn't unsee the imperfections anymore. And so every time every once a year, I'd want to get a good lens, or like actually get a good camera, and I would go into this sort of research hole, and I'd be like, price myself out, because I wasn't earning money as a photographer. I couldn't justify, spending anything really on it. So suddenly I was like, I never actually ended up buying a nice camera. I did finally get a good lens many years later on a professional job, but it was like, and then it got stolen. But anyway, so that every year what would happen is then I'd end up buying like a Holga, or some like $15 plastic Polaroid camera or something like that, like some like really really cheap camera, which was awesome and brought me so much pleasure. And exactly what you're saying, with the Holga, like I had been taking pictures, like everything, and then the Holga is just so basic. The focus, there's this one plastic lens, and the focus is like one person, many people, or mountain. And that's pretty much the only setting. There's also like cloudy or sunny. There's a little switch that's probably like a little aperture thing. And
My favorite lens is the Nifty 50, like a 50 millimeter lens with, it doesn't have any zoom for those of
yeah,
you unfamiliar. So like you have to get really close to the subject matter. Like you have to physically move to get to where you want to be for the picture, and that's pretty fun. So
yeah, and it's such a discipline though, because then as soon as I started taking the pictures, I was like, oh, this is great. And the first roll I got back was absolutely terrible. Like there's no good pictures in it at all. But I realized that because it was really all just about the contrast, and it was just about the composition of the contrast, and it just sort of forces you to to look at your subject matter differently and go about finding different things differently. And it's just and it just it's a great lesson as well. So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, there's something. I mean, to try to loop it back to modular a little bit, because I mean, I could talk about. I was like debating going to get some cameras, but like there's something really nice about sort of the analog aspect to it. Like Third Man Records is an awesome studio because they everything they do is like electromechanical. Like I don't think there's anything superior about vinyl unless you have like a proper full analog signal chain path, and even then my ears are probably so crappy I couldn't hear the difference, right? But there's something really satisfying about knowing they have a studio where when you play, that's cutting directly into vinyl. Like that mix is mechanically powering like this thing that's cutting a groove, which is pretty wild. So like I don't know, I like that aspect of vinyl. I don't buy it anymore because it's not good for people, but unless it's like a particularly technically cool album, like they've done something really interesting with it. But yeah, it's anyway. I like the analog aspect of a lot of our synthesizer signal paths and things like that. Like it's just very cool.
And I think that's the thing also with the modular, if you're building it up bit by bit, is like it's the same sort of like learning discipline. Is like you only have this oscillator and then you have this filter.
Right.
What do you need to add to make it, to do something with it that you want, and then figure out what you can do with just the things you have.
Yeah.
It's definitely preaching to the choir here, but it's like versus the infinite box of the computer where it's like it can do anything, and then it's like
well, it's like that, but like if instead of buying a computer, like these are like almost analog computers, and you've seen like some modular folk even venture into the realm of building analog computers because they go so far down the rabbit hole. But like you're getting like just one little tiny piece of a computer, and you work out how to, okay, what do I do next? And like it's great for sound, video, and all that kind of stuff because we can really do wild, ridiculous things that aren't particularly useful in most scenarios. So I like that aspect of it. Like there's no real practical for most people that aren't doing like audio video stuff, there's no practical reason to like pull in the light and use that as a control voltage for like I don't know something you're doing for work or something. Like it's I think it's cool.
Did a plane just fly over your house?
No, planes don't usually fly over my house unless there's a wildfire nearby.
Planes fly below your house.
Yeah. They fly like 20 miles north of me or something. Like there's a flight path somewhere that way.
I'm just saying because I just heard a hum that sounded like, and I thought for a split second that you had just turned on your synth as an example of.
Unless no, it's on. It's on. I mean,
anything going on like.
It's ready to go. I've been mostly using it as a sound box. I kind of want an envelope follower a bit, and one of the horrible but cool things that MS-20 does as opposed to the MS-10 is it actually will follow pitch, which is pretty cool. So I'd like to try that at some point, or get a module that does it, so I can like jack in an ukulele or a guitar and like really crappily go from like those sounds to like synth sounds,
Right.
But yeah, it's been fun. A giant guitar pedal behind me. Yeah. Trying to think what else. I think every guitar pedal should actually be a module. Anyway.
Yeah. I considered the last pedal which I built was a mod delay, and I was considering, it was after I had the modular, like every other one I built before, and I considered fitting it into like making it a module instead. But then I thought I will not actually finish it if I do that. So.
It's not too. I mean, if you do what I did, I'm not going to change the camera, but like I made a decent sized panel. Half the panel is pretty much blank, like there's no knobs or anything on it. Because I basically just like wired the switch, like the bypass switch, instead of like a push button. Did a toggle switch.
Yeah.
Put all the potentiometers where I wanted them. But I have room on the panel below for when I eventually feel like adding CV. Like right now, there's no CV at all. It's just more of a convenience location thing. But
right. Yeah, I love an analog bucket brigade delay pedal. And I use the carbon copy all the time, and then this other one that I have didn't sound so good until I actually put the signal. It's less forgiving than the carbon copy, so it definitely helped once I got the Stomp Box adapter from module for using it for synths. But yeah, I consider getting. I was like, should I get the Pittsburgh? Pittsburgh's got the very basic analog bucket brigade delay. That's like one of their two modules that's available right now. It's like it's still in stock at some stores, so it's like, well, I regret not getting it down the road, but got me a phone.
Yeah, that's cool. Like I at this point, if there's like a module for it, I'll get it. Like I'm building enough rack space versus a pedal. There's just some pedal, like the pedals I have don't really exist as a module, although the Blue Skies days are numbered, as I'll probably get like the Star Lab or whatever it's called.
As CK shows up.
Yeah, welcome CK. Yeah, I mean, like there's no reason for me to have a guitar pedal, and one of the cool things about the environment I've built is they're all instrument cables, so I can just pull one and jack it into a guitar, and like now it's a guitar pedal, like it's that easy. I guess I lose the foot switch control, but who cares? I can build one.
I feel my right now I'm in a rare state of so I built that case a couple 2 weeks ago, like a month ago, however long ago now at this point. But anyway, it's 2 rows of 126 HP, and that's like exactly the number of modules that I have, except for I have like 2 that don't fit in it. I've got like the original mixer that I got, the little mix up, and then the mutable the analysis one, the bench test, is just like tells you what pitch things are.
Oh, okay.
The test module. Anyway, those don't fit, but I'm not playing with those all the time anyway. But basically, it's like this is how many modules I have. So I'm at this rare state of this is a stable sort of, but of course that won't last very long at all. And I just ordered.
Once you pull the trigger on something like me buying more parts for a new case, like that kind of stuff, like I think stability collapses. But mine's been pretty stable for a while, which I'm pretty happy with. Like I have a bunch of Cosmo modules I can build, but like I've not really felt the need to swap things out yet. So good place to be.
I did just order some new rails though, because I've been looking for the black rails. I know that I'd be better off just getting some vector rails and cutting them, but that's when I figure my woodworking skills are so iffy enough that I figure I'll just go with something that's square for the system. So just buying those, but in black, those were always unavailable, and they just came back in stock. So I just ordered some more rails. But basically, getting a 40, I have getting 40 HP rails, which are just about the same size as the Noco. So I'm going to build a tiny little portable rack case, which is just 6U 40 HP. So,
nice. How are you going to power it?
I'm going to lose 4 HP. I've got the Row Power. That's how my big case is powered, with the Row Power. So it's basically I'll just put passive bus boards in everything, and then just move that around depending on what case I'm using. So I couldn't use it at the same time as the big case.
Oh, okay.
yet.
Okay.
Oh, I'm back. Yes, cool. Sorry, I lost you at the rails are black. You're gonna get vector, and your woodwork. I was gonna say your woodworking skills don't have to be that good to make a case.
Yeah.
Promise you.
Oh no, no, yeah, I know, but I feel like it's still useful to have the square part, the rails. Like if I buy rails that are already cut to the right length, and I get their
Yes.
side things, and like the woodworking can be pretty wonky, but the rails will be square, and that's then everything will be okay.
Yeah, and that's what I did too. I wanted the I don't know, you call them the side plates, so that the rails are the right spacing, and I don't have to think about it because that is the worst part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can build a crap box around it.
But I also got some 104 HP rails, which I'm not just about to build anything out of, but I was just having them available in black so that, my idea is like now I'll build that into a portable case that'll be a LA meetup case. So
Yeah, one thing I've been missing out, like it's funny that I didn't get in modular until I moved out here, but probably because I didn't have any space and didn't know enough about synths, but I want to go to like secondhand shops and like those kind of things, and those are just easier to do in cities versus here, because I would love to find some like unexpected boxes shaped things that you can make cases out of. So really,
I was thinking the other day, like get a guitar hard case, and you could do like, like one thing going up the neck, and then like
maybe I have to measure it.
down and made the body part.
Yeah, that'd be pretty funny. The equivalent of like the El Mariachi, right? Like
Right.
the machine gun case, but instead of a machine gun, it's like machine gun drums.
Right.
Plug in the end of the case, which is also pretty funny idea with a case with a socket.
You
That'd be
could
cool.
make that pretty clean if you designed your own like acrylic panel to,
Yeah.
and then all the modules fit into that. Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
One of my favorites, less standard. I can't remember who it was now, but it was someone streaming. It was a year ago, but it was a small case. It was sort of square, and there was 2 rows, just very small rows, oriented this way, and then another row. They're all 3U, 3U, and then another one that was like 3U that was like sideways, rotated like 90 degrees off to the side. It was pretty cool to look at.
I'm digging the idea of a guitar case. Like,
Yeah.
someone do that. Miles is like adding a guitar strap to it. Like, like, has anyone? I mean, I'm sure someone has, right? But I haven't seen anybody with like a wearable Euro rack case. Like, it feels really awkward but funny. So, like, definitely do it. Like patching, like.
Instead of a keytar, it's like a modular tar.
Yeah, yeah.
Tar.
But you can't like see any of what you're doing because like the cases are pretty wide, right? Like it'd be like worse than playing a dreadnought, but like with knobs and patch cables. So like,
or you just make a CV controller. Okay. Yeah, like my homemade ribbon controller. It's I want it to be on the lap, but like you can play that like. But basically, I've got a spare down here separate. There's a gate and 2 spare CVs, so you can like CV something whatever you want from here.
That's so sick that you have that. And B, like if the neck is too narrow for modules, which I don't know if it is or not, I'd have to measure the neck of a case. But if it's too narrow, that would be a perfect thing for the neck of the case. So you can like wail on it.
Oh yeah.
Yep. The question I have is like,
so the keytar would be a knob tar.
Would it need a case itself?
Great. No, but it'd be like open it. Don't have just you can open it up. Like I guess make removable hinges.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for sure. I was just thinking it would be hilarious to pull a guitar case out of another slightly bigger guitar case.
That would be good.
Like make everything as ridiculous as possible.
That's the way to go.
I love that route. I gotta order another thing from Chagatronic now, and a guitar case. Yeah.
You know the thing, a couple of things that Tragatronic has that's pretty cool is I have this
yes.
CV controlled sort of extremely bright LED light.
Oh, nice.
Um, I mean that's the back of it. So you just
Like
uh,
the clamp is part of it. Yeah.
yeah, the clamp. So you clamp this wherever you need it,
Yeah.
and then on the front you've got power, and then you have some CV in, audio in, so it can react to CV or audio, and then you control the intensity of it. Um, Usually, like I stopped doing it on streams just because people were saying that some of the light flashes might be harmful to certain people, so I just stopped using it for that. But hooking up the kick or one of the drums to this is really cool.
Yeah.
And then another thing that they have that I've wanted to try, but I haven't, is they have these pads that are like you touch them, and then you can it's CV control into your rack. And I thought it'd be cool if he made them small enough, because they seemed big, like they'd sit out somewhere. If they were small enough that you could put them as a module,
Oh yeah.
but you should check out some of the other stuff that he has. It's really cool.
Yeah. I think there's also some pretty good like testing modules, if I remember right. Like even an oscilloscope, things like that. They've got a good range of modules even. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I started with their VCA and their power, and I have three of their VCAs because it's got the switch on it, the momentary switch, so then you can just you know enable that instead of having your VCA just on, and then it's activated when you hit that button.
That's
So a
cool.
lot of a lot of tactile stuff, which I really like.
Yeah. That's awesome. I mean, I have a similar thing on my envelopes, but not on the VCA. Well, I mean, the VCA is sort of, there's an invert switch on my VCAs that effectively open them up full if there's no signal going in, which is great for like passing through reverb or whatever. Like the things that you don't want to be gated. Yeah, I mean, now I want to go build a guitar case.
Guitar case.
You'd have to come up with a good name for it. All right, whoever comes up with the best name for the guitar case wins.
Modtar.
Modtar. I like Modtar.
Modtar.
Voltar.
And
I'd
then
almost, yeah.
and then
like,
someone's going to take it up another level and make like the two neck version.
yeah, and you even like the single neck, right? Like you got the neck that goes over the top, right where the headstock would, or the headstock would be, where all the tuning is. Put a little patch bay up there. So there's wires hanging off the outside.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey Schmooster, welcome.
Whoa.
Long time no see.
Hi, Schmooster.
Oh, and I see Wilk Ass Messiah is streaming tonight at 10 Pacific, so check that out for a good Sunday service.
Sunday service with Woke.
Yeah, go to church. I'm gonna take off because I want to go do some. Like now, I'm like fired up to go
Nice.
build some stuff. But have a good day, y'all. Thanks for coming.
Okay.
Tim, you gonna play us out? I'm just kidding. I'll do it. Let's see here.
Thanks to everyone who joined.
Yeah, have a good week, y'all. See you next Sunday at whatever time this is at. joys of analog is things going out of tune. Tim with the sick footage.